Okay, so I'm going to take a stab at a video that's going to be really difficult for me to do because I'm right between steps and this is just going to look like chaos, but I assure you it's not chaos. I have the engine sitting right here out of the car and I'm nearly ready to put it into the new Stealth, but I wanted to make sure that I ran whatever wires I could run before the engine is in place, because once the engine is here it's going to be really hard to get wires in and out of the firewall and around the engine bay. So yesterday what I spent a lot of time doing was moving those wires. So this is the old Stealth. You can see that there's still a set of wires coming through this wire loom. That's the same access point under the car where the wide body sensor goes for the air-fuel ratio. That's coming up to this area, which is where I had connection for my meth injection controller. You can see I still have wiring here, which is for my ignition booster, and of course there's wire harness all over the place from just the car in general. This is the meth controller that I had, one of them, I guess. This is the one that controls or goes to the pump, and then there was another one. I'm not even sure anymore what these two things do, but this one is measuring the, let's see, this one measures the, okay, so this one measures the actual pressure. It decides when to turn on. And this one, oh, looks like it does the flow rate. And that goes to the pump. The pump had been right here. You can see there's 4 screw holes. And now the pump is sitting here. So it's not permanently fixed, but obviously while the engine is out, I can mount it over here. Easier than if the engine was in. These are the transmission shift cables that I had to swap over. And then over here, you can already see this is the access point that I'm using. I have one wire for the meth controller. I have a vacuum cable going to my boost gauge and controller. And then these 2 sets of wires are all coming out of that hole, and they're going to my boost control solenoid here, and also, actually no, that one's not even going to that. That's another set of wires. This thin guy, he's not routed yet. But I do have, where are the end of those wires? So this one is going to the, I think the air and pressure sensor. The pressure sensor going into the throttle. Oh man, my words. That one's going into the temperature and pressure sensor that's in the air intake, because I don't have a mass airflow sensor anymore. And this one is the other set of coiled wires, or twisted cable wires. This one is the pressure sensor for my boost controller. Oy. Anyway, it looks like a total mess right now, but I assure you it's not quite as chaotic as it appears. And then inside, I've already pulled some of these wires through the firewall, so that's like these guys, for instance. And this all looks relatively clean, except that they have, whoever my previous owner was, had installed an SAFC, which is a type of plug-in or plug-and-play fuel controller that they wired into the harness already. So I need to unwire that and make sure I do it carefully. And then what I have over here is definitely a mess. But here I have like these are all the cables going into the ECU, which is not actually the standard one. It's my aftermarket ECU that I can program. And there's all kinds of wired connections in here that I need to transfer over to make sure that my car works like it did before. And the funny thing about all of this is that here you can see the pin plug-in, or the pinouts for my different ECUs. And the top one, this is the Stealth that I already have. This is a 91 to 93, so I have the 91. So these are different pinout numbers than the new Stealth, which is the 94 to 97 variant. So I need to make sure that, it looks like the pinout physically is the same, but I need to make sure that I'm careful with my wiring, otherwise I could have a world of hurt. Anyway, so now I'm in the process of hopefully getting one from the wires from one to the other, and then the engine. And this is also my newest edition because it is quite cold in here. So yeah, hoping to stay a little bit warm today. Anywho, wish me luck.